Too Fast, Too Furious is directed by John Singleton. The film this time takes us to Miami, where Brian O'Connor is semi off the grid. After he's found, he's tasked once again to go undercover to catch a drug dealer. Now, one of the biggest, most obvious changes in this film is the absence of Vin Diesel. And I know that for the majority of people who saw the film, that was the biggest complaint. Brian and Dom's chemistry was entertaining as hell. And quite frankly, you know, the highlights of all these films. In here, you can feel that something is missing. It doesn't quite feel as grounded as the last one. And the tone, for the most part, it has shifted. The races are a bit more stylized. You know, the green screen is, it's a little bit easier on the eyes this time, but there are moments when they hit the Nas sequences, when they're like speeding, it looks like they're going through hyperspace. There's a lot more races in here too. There's like, I think 3 or 4 more additional races in here. It's this movie really, it just owns that it's a race movie. You know, there's a lot more races in here for sure. And I could be wrong on this, but I feel like the studio, I feel like they knew that, you know, not having Vin Diesel in here was going to be a big blow to this film, just because at the time, Vin Diesel was such a hot commodity at the time, you know what I mean? And when the first movie came out, you know, Vin Diesel was stealing every show, like every scene he was in. Like it was, I could tell they knew that this was going to be a hard one going in. And so and this is just my opinion, I feel like they tried to compensate with that a lot by putting in more cameos in this film, like adding Ludacris and Tyrese and a bunch of other people that you'll find in here. And God bless the man who signed off on that idea. First, I want to talk about Ludacris. His presence, I felt, it fit this movie to such a T. Right from the opening pent-up shot of him when he's like coming out to announce the races with his early 2000s afro. He's like, all right, fire him up. We go live in 5. We go live in 5. Like, God damn, I miss the 2000s, boy. What a legendary moment. God, just what a classic moment that part is, man. Right then, you just knew that this race was going to be bananas. And they actually give him more screen time than usual, too. I didn't even expect that. And usually, characters like him, they're like one and done. They'll have one little intro cameo scene and then they're just done. But they actually give Ludacris a lot to work with here. He has a garage that we visit at one point, and we learn about his side hustles and stuff like that. And it turns out that he's like the main host for a lot of the races that go on in Miami. So every time that there's a race, Luda is right there. You know, he has such just an enjoyable presence on screen, man. And as an actor, man, I just gotta say, he's so underrated. As an actor, man, Jesus. Tyrese Gibson shows up as one of the main actors as well. Most folks wouldn't probably notice this, but this is a way different Roman Pierce than what we're getting right now in the recent movies. He's way more edgier in this one. He's grungy, and he's bitter about going to jail. But even his humor is different, you know? He delivers more of a dry take on things when he's joking around, you know? And even when he's joking, they sound more like insults instead of just regular old roasts. You know what I mean? Like when he's insulting you, it's not like he's insulting this boy. It's like he don't like you. You can really feel that in his delivery. And I thought it was great. I thought it was actually more funny than what we get nowadays. Like he's just so hilarious when he's just taking on this take and really going in on people, man. Like, God, I was having a good time with it. And personally, I think it's just 3 times better comedy-wise. One other thing that I noticed too was that in this film, he's way more of a loose cannon. Like he's like the wild card guy that could just blow this operation at any given point, because he just doesn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like he has this I don't give a fuck attitude and walks with such confidence and such boldness, and he's so fearless in here. Like, man, if you watch this and then you watch the new ones, you'll see like the drastic difference, man. He's just so much different in here. He's a better driver too. He's just less of a clown. You know what I mean? In this one, like they really owned him in the comic relief for the new movies, but in here, he's just a guy who's in the movie who just tells jokes here and here. But like, you don't see him as a comic relief. You see him as like this guy that could set off at any given moment. I think it's way better. But the chemistry that he has Brian O'Connor is just so genuine. Like, just watching them, you can tell that they've been through some shit together. You know what I mean? I'm just so glad that Tyrese didn't, he didn't oversell in his performance. You know what I mean? Like, he kept things really natural and really level. And I can just tell, man, just from like just looking at them and performing on screen, that they had to have been friends in real life, man. Just behind the scenes, I can only imagine. Like, these guys, that friendship you felt. You can tell these guys were boys, not only just on screen, but in real life too. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up being best friends because of this movie. Now, with Brian's character, there's a bit of a shift here. Like, in the last movie, he gave off vibes of like this edgy surfer dude that could like hold his own whenever it came to like throwing hands and stuff like that, which is fine. In here, though, he's black. Like he has a lean in his walk now, and his voice is deeper in here. You know what I'm saying? He uses street slang. You know what I'm saying? He calls people cuz. What? Like, did you just learn ebonics and then join a gang while you was on the run? You know what I'm saying? Like, you sound a little hood, my guy. Speaking of black, this movie is like way more hood than the last one. There's b-boy dancing. The soundtrack is damn near all hip hop. And it also has this southern vibe to it just from the look of the film. More popping colors and just a lot of rich choices with the costuming and things like that. It's almost like the film really tried to own the 2000s era of that time. Like, if y'all don't remember this, but back in 03, like crunk music and southern hip hop was cracking. I'm talking Slim Thug, Fat Joe, Chingy, Joe Budden, and even Ludacris. So when I watch this movie, guys, like, it's like I'm back in my 13-year-old self, just chilling out, just reliving my childhood watching this thing. I'm saving it. It's just such a fucking vibe, man. Quite honestly, man, I don't understand how people don't like this movie, man. I really don't. I thought this shit was great. Okay? And I know people say this is like the worst movie in the franchise, but I'm just like, how? Sway? Now, you could say the villain is forgettable as hell. Okay, and I will admit, he is. He's very, very forgettable. I mean, Cole Hauser does a great job playing Carter, okay? But his presence, it wasn't as memorable as Vin Diesel's was. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Vin Diesel that we're talking about, though. You know what I'm saying? Carter is like the regular, stereotypical mob boss that we've all seen before. But it's really Paul Walker and Tyrese's dynamic that really make this movie an enjoyable watch, man. And look, I enjoy the hell out of this thing, okay? So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Damn right. Oh, I miss the 2000s, man. Shit was cracking. So that's my review on Too Fast, Too Furious. Hope you guys like that video. And you know what, man? Why don't you guys put in the comments, like, what you guys, how you guys feel about the early 2000s? Like, were y'all fucking with it? You guys miss it? You know what I'm saying? Let's have a little conversation down in the comments and just, have a little nice nostalgia run. You know what I mean? But if you like this video, hit the like button. If you love this video, hit subscribe. And I see you guys on the flip side. Peace.